that's where we're going? Don't exactly look safe.
Oh there. Approach the gate and identify yourself if you're looking for access. Well, of all the improbable sights I'd never imagined to actually see, folks simply wandering around the Badlands of Praetor would be near the top of that list. I've not the mind to solve the equation that demonstrates how unlikely it is you've survived enemy combatants, hostile critters, and endless lightning in near equal measure. Is that so? Amusingly enough, I'm inclined to believe you, which means you might be just the help Exemplar Simon's been waiting for. The grounding station was built to help manage and offset the lightning that illuminates the sky and scorches the ground without pause or penance. They also used the station for a number of experiments that they ultimately lacked the capacity to complete. But, suffice it to say, we far exceeded those limitations. Nevertheless, the Exemplar is in need of help to complete his research, and our small squad lacks the manpower to provide it. But you might be the universal variable we've been waiting for. He is in the lab atop the hydraulicalized lift. Ironically, the lift was struck by lightning while the station was being reset and is stuck in its raised position. There is a trail that leads to the top. Just mind the jump onto the platform, and don't touch anything glowing, sparking, or obviously shedding lightning on your way there. And given the situation we find ourselves in, I'll be leaving the gate charged unless you're ready to pass through it. Just approach, and I'll power it down for you. Need to exit the station, just approach the gate, and I can open it for you.
Greetings, unaffiliated individual? Could you be a freelancer? A gun for hire? Might you be interested in a job involving the removal of dangerous creatures? Of course. I've heard stories from the frontline combat personnel about people of your persuasion. Living in dangerous conditions, no POPs, and not adhering to the equation. It all sounds so exciting. Maybe I should have an impromptu excursion. No. Remember your duties to the Order, Fitzgibbons. Phenomenal! This is the most exciting day in my recent memory. Tell me, would you be willing to help us with a pest problem? Very well. There's a cave directly southeast of our position, positively infested with raptidons. If you exterminate the lot of them, I'll upgrade your basic entry permissions to allow for purchase of our surplus of supplies. Oh, this is so exciting. I can feel the rate of my blood flow increasing.
This unit beautifully acknowledges your presence.
I won't think twice about applying the precise amount of force.
I have too much on my mind for idle numerical chit-chat.
appear to present a low probability of risk. Please don't invalidate my calculation.
Yeah.
You've returned. Are the Raptidons vanquished? Have you completed the job? Oh, incredible. Then, as the prime requisitionist currently at this station, I confer to you upgraded permissions that allow for surplus supply purchases.
Lovely day for differential geometry.
I am at my wit's end with that damn Protectorate safe. If you can open it, whatever's inside is yours. I'll wash my hands of it.
No reason to reason with you.
So, you're the mysterious individual that's caused such a stir across Arcadia? Well, it is my sincerest of pleasures to meet you. I am Exemplar Simon, head of research at this station. Please consider me your personal conduit to this meager, yet profound portion of the universal equation. How may I be of service? That is not a simple question, though I might try to explain it like this. There is an equation for calculating gravity, yes? And the speed of light? And skip drive coordinates? The universal equation uses the purity of mathematics to solve the entire universe. For example, by deciphering the storms of Praetor, we learn invaluable aspects of other phenomena. Very well. Though if what my soldiers are telling me is true, we could make good use of your talents and reward you handsomely for your efforts. Prior to being driven from this facility, the Protectorate was exploring lightning-powered explosives. The concept was clearly beyond them, but I have already solved their errors. So with the towers aligned, I can produce a batch of the explosives they theorized, and I would happily share them with you. Originally, the Protectorate designed this facility to control those grounding towers, which are the only thing keeping Praetor's ceaseless lightning from turning us all into ash. And to be sure, that is the only reason Anti or the Protectorate haven't taken this place by force. They are rightly terrified of what happens if this station goes offline. However, neglect during this conflict led to Axon's shorting at 5 of the towers, causing gross misalignment. If they aren't realigned, the failures will catastrophically cascade. That is fantastic news. I'll begin fabrication as soon as you've aligned the towers. And so, I shall have the explosives ready for you upon your return.
Ready if you need a house call. Target, Commander, don't tease me! Step aside. Back in. Prescription filled.
You're about to enter territory controlled by Auntie's choice. Act accordingly, or you'll end up close friends with the inside of a Raptidon.
Appreciate you handling our dirty work.
You there. You came from outside the camp, didn't you? Do you have a minute to take a job? For science, of course. Interested in work, or was the allure of helping to advance science and being paid for it too much to resist? I'll get right to it then. I need someone to bring me a Gorvid egg. I'm a head biological researcher doing some fascinating and mighty important work with Gorvids. I sent my assistant off to the north with a tracking device, hoping he'd lay hands on a Gorvid egg. I desperately need that egg for my research. Could you bring me one? Oh, and bring back my assistant, too, if you find him with all his pieces still stuck together. He ain't much good for assisting in research if he's all torn up. Sound reasonable? Which of my assorted critters would you like to know about? We've got quite a pile of them here on Praetor. Excellent hunters, trackers, and shock troops. Extremely loyal, now that we have them on an all-meaty roll-ups diet. We tried them, and they were devastating for all of 12 hours. Then we found out the hard way that they're attracted to lightning, which I claim credit for discovering. Once all the queens got zapped, that was about it. There's no more real hives now, just a few wasps left in the mountains. Gorvids are absolutely fascinating. A sort of simian-avian hybrid, extremely deadly. Absolutely incredible physiology. I can't wait to have an egg. The thought of being the first person to catalog the process makes me positively giddy with excitement. The profits from my next few papers are going to be incredible. Guilty as charged. My job is studying which critters we can use to fight the Protectorate here on Praetor. Right now it's mostly Raptidons, which I'd be more than happy to talk on at length if you've an interest. Excellent. Which ones? Something else then? I sent him off with a tracking device to find a Gorvid egg. He might be out of his depth. Can you find him and bring him and the egg, or at least the egg, back for me? We found signs of Gorvid activity. I sent him off in hopes he could put a tracker on a Gorvid, then we could follow it back to its nest. Should be just north from here. Almost definitely a lethal encounter with a Gorvid, ending in brutal dismemberment. That's what happened to my other 5 assistants. I know. You're absolutely right. I should have held one back to do all the grunt work. Now I have to take apart my own research station. What was I thinking? Something else then? Ask away. A little free information is a small price to pay. Do they have chickens where you're from? Well, then this should be easy for you. Gorvids and chickens are very alike, except Gorvids are big, strong as an automech, absolutely deadly, and will happily murder you given a chance. Likely still tasty, though. Excellent question. There is some special process inside the egg that happens just before hatching. I need to watch this in a lab, then swoop in at the last second and dissect it. Some bits? A rather unique weapon from my time in the projectile weapon division of the biological weapons team, and most importantly, a mention in my next paper. Something else then? Thank you! I can hardly wait to get started on that egg.
With no rest and no downtime,
We saw something like this just before Auntie's Choice took over Tau Ceti. Didn't end well for the bosses, I'll tell you that.
That's right, folks. Give your chance to go. I can see the overseer of our office. And we're definitely making her miserable. Welcome, fellow disgruntled worker. Can't say I recognize you. You come from a different plant to support our cause? We're causing trouble. We just found out that we're basically slave labor. And now we're learning to stand up for ourselves. Dunbar, one of our level 3 packers, explained it to us. He's got a new coiffured friend who's helped us understand the workers' plight of, our politeness or something. We need the proletariat to yield to, worker subjugation by xenophobic proxy? No, that ain't right. But it's something that sounds super fancy when Will explains it. Honestly, we just want to eat, sleep, and relieve ourselves on a reasonable schedule. But the damn overseer, I think she's getting rich off of breaking our backs. I ain't sure how you're gonna get in. This door is barred from the inside, and I don't think there's another way in on the ground floor. No more bottles on factory floors! Time for unlocked bathroom doors! We don't want to make demands, but no more peeing in bottles and cans! If you won't let us sleep or eat, you can't charge us for stimulates! No more bottles on factory floors! Time for unlocked bathroom doors! If you won't let us sleep or eat, you can't charge us for stimulates! With no downtime, we don't pay for a drink at a time!
Whatever it is you're after, go looking for it somewhere else.
You seem like a go-getter. Let's consume lunch sometime.
Yes? The whole reason we set up here is to avoid customers. Is there something you need? See that repackaging facility down there? We're supposed to be working it, slaving away for a few meager bits that we then gotta use to pay for our own necessities. They work us like cysty pigs, charge us for the stems we need to yoke those hours, and don't let us relieve ourselves but in empty fizzy tea bottles we keep beneath our stations. So, we're making trouble until that changes. Until we get some respect. Until the privy is left open all day. That there is certainly an opinion shared by the Auntie's Choice leadership. Though, it saddens me to find a fellow worker share such a stark view of our worth. Now, if you'll excuse me. Yes? The whole reason we set up here is to avoid customers. See that repackaging facility? They work... So, we're making trouble until that changes. Until we get some Can't imagine what. Ain't like you could fix all of Auntie's Choice's hierarchy by your own self. I don't think you could even change this one dumpish overseer ruining our lives. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Yeah.
Ever read the Middle Manager Handbook?
really shores up the foundation of your fundamentals.
Sorry. Time is bits. Bits is time. Or are, that is. Have a profitable day.
This ain't like any negotiation I ever been a part of. Not that I've been part of many.
Machines have been off for a week. Can't believe what I'm losing on Adrenatime and Antifizzo's Numrum.
beauty of the corporatist ideology rears its ugly head.
We don't want to make demands, but no more peeing in bottles and cans!
Welcome to Auntie's Fine Product Revitalization Center, where we create tomorrow's brands today. I assume you are the disruption ameliorator from home office? It was about damn time you got here. This labor stoppage has put us almost a full week behind schedule and is making me look quite the fool. Get back to what? Are you daft? Of course I've told them to get back to work. Some ne'er-do-wells, have incited our workers to halt all work. They've taken to making demands and carrying on about basic dignity and human rights. It should go without saying that such flights of fantasy have no place inside Auntie's Choice. And if we were still in Tau Ceti, they would face grave consequences.
I reckon she's got her wires crossed. Basic dignity is what Auntie's Choice promised us when we signed up, so long as we were good at our work. And while we might have faced grave consequences back on Tau Ceti, it was under old management, who were trounced rather thoroughly in the end, I might add.
Nevertheless, here we must focus on getting these ingrates back to work and remind them that they're damn lucky to have Auntie's Choice to dedicate their lives to. What? No, that would never... Well, actually whipping them might keep them awake and on task better than the Adrena time we give them. Why, the nerve you have. I am running this facility because I am an invaluable resource. Because I am indispensable to Auntie's efforts. As a managerial administrativist, and when I say I, it is critical that you understand that as director of this facility, I should effectively be treated as though I were an executive. Is that clear? Well, there's no call for rudeness. It's unnecessary, unprofessional, and distracts us from the important business that I have the direct authority to dispatch you upon. This plant relabels dated items with new Auntie's Choice trademarks and slogans. It is critical to keeping revitalized products on the shelf for consumers hungry for something new. So, the workers may be unhappy, but they must realize their comfort is a distant second to Auntie's delivery schedule. Or in short, they need to get back to work. My workers are striking people now? How very alarming. We must resolve this before things get even further out of hand. They've appointed some kind of leader, and he's the one you have to talk to. His name is, Dummy? No, that's not right. Dunce? Dummer? Dumbly? Dunbar. It's Dunbar. If I'm honest, my gaze is purely focused up the ladder, not down it. I am a very important upper, middle, lower manager, and the way I advance that status scantily involves learning the names and faces of my peons.
I believe he has demands, but I can't be bothered to remember what they were. They alter the generous terms Auntie offers, and so are egregious and should be rejected. You will find him up on the landing pad with some of his minions. Go help him understand the situation so everyone can get back to work. That clear? Yes, well, I'm sure you'll manage. Auntie has faith in you. Best of luck to you. Remember that your actions don't just reflect on you, you are also representing me. Which is to say, you are also do us
Others get the exact same pay, but only work 12-hour days! We don't want to make demands, but no more repeating in bottles and cans!
Heads up! Make some space! We've got a sanctioned non-employee professional caller coming out!
If you won't let us sleep for 8, you can charge us for stimulating!
I ain't aiming to seem rude, but I got a lot to deal with right now. Unless this is mighty important, I'll respectfully ask to be left to my business. Settle my complaints? How exactly you planning that? Auntie's got to prioritize worker prosperity over productivity. What we've got now is, poor, labor retention techniques? What's going on is, remind me again?
An inhospitable occupational environment that ignores worker safety and health concerns.
Right, that. It means we're worked like cysty pigs for almost no net gains, while Auntie gets fat on our blood, sweat, and tears. And what's worse, she takes back most of the bit she pays us.
They work 20-hour shifts, which requires stims to endure that are charged at a premium. Adrena time is actually cheaper on the undisputed claim than it is here. And if that inhuman brutality isn't enough to offend basic decency, they're also barred from using the restroom throughout the business day. Their 20-hour business day. It is an unconscionable condition to keep these workers in. I can't imagine how hard it is for them to coordinate their daily duties. Are you serious?
We should get back on track. The point is that the situation is downright unmerciful and we need some changes. Our shifts need to be reduced to 12 hours a day. 4 hours of personal time ain't even enough to rest, much less get any actual living done. Second, if we gotta work those long hours, we want free Adrena time. Bad enough it's making everything taste like we're gnawing nickel pads. Having to pay for the pleasure's too far. Finally, we want all-day bathroom access. Expecting us to fit our necessities into the same 4 hours is just mean. Plus, between us, most folk ain't, if you get my meaning. Thank you for your trying. I don't know if we'll get it all, but every bit you add makes some part of our lives a whole lot easier. Thank you for agreeing to take our demands to Overseer Griggs. Please, our basic needs are in your hands. Don't let us down.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Ameliorator. Did you make contact with workers? Do they understand that this stoppage is madness? Are they ready to return? So, what are these ingrate alley sprats willing to settle for? Golden privies and gilded sheets? To be spoon-fed crunch whenever their tummies rumble? 8-hour workdays? They want to relieve themselves on company time? I've never heard something so preposterous. Can you imagine how many bits that loss of productivity will cost us? What if they lounge? What if they take time to relax? What if they retreat to indulge their baser urges? Auntie would be paying for all manner of unprofitable shenanigans. Oh my. You're probably right. It's been so long since I've shared a facility, I've forgotten how unpleasant it can be. I trust your insight and will leave it unlocked from now on. What more do they want? 12 hour? Are they mad? What are they gonna do with the other half of the day? Lounge around the facility consuming air and water and power without compensating the company? I am, frankly, disappointed you would even bring me such a preposterous demand. You should have nipped this offensive arrogance in the bud. I suppose that's true. It wouldn't take much to put enough pep in their proverbial step to make up for 2 lost hours. Their overall productivity might even improve. That would translate into more profit for the plant, which means larger bonuses for me, which should be more than enough to make up for the drop in hourly production. All right, you've convinced me. What else do they want? Free? Free? Nothing inside of Auntie's Choice is free. Law, nothing in life is free. Everything has a cost. Everything. Materials, labor, time, distribution, forced scarcity. Giving something away for free is akin to ignoring the cost of its creation, which is one small step from the system completely breaking down and plunging us all into anarchy. What in the void are you talking about? My greed is certainly doing no such thing. What? No! I would never! That's slander. And or libel. And you can't prove a thing. Well, fuck. That's quite the rub, isn't it? All right, what do you want? Huh. I don't know why you would waste leverage on them, but I suppose you've got your reasons. All right. They'll get their Adrena time, and you'll get all the bits I got on me. Is there more they ask?